There are a few culinary rivalries as long-standing, as heartily fought, and as consequential to the very fabric of American cooking as Brownie versus Blondie. All right, so I know that's not technically true, and I know a lot of you are sitting there thinking, what's eating Dan's brain? Like from the inside out. The dude's lost it. Brownies contain chocolate. Chocolate tastes like magic. Brownies win. Episode's over. Next. And look, I'm a realist. I understand that when the credits roll for this episode, many of you will still think I have a brain parasite and brownies win. But maybe, just maybe. Sorry, what are we talking about? Now, I'm not gonna start this off by saying that blondes have more fun because, well, I'm not a blonde and I don't want that to be the case. Also, we're here to talk about baked goods, not hair today. If you clicked on this video because you thought it was a hair tutorial, you're gonna be pretty disappointed. I guess if you hang around to the end, maybe I'll show you how I kind of make this happen. Though the origins of both are a little bit murky, there's evidence that suggests that the first brownie was actually, drum roll please, a blondie. It's true. One of the first recipes for a confection dubbed a brownie appeared in 1896 in Fanny Farber's Boston Cooking School cookbook, and it was individual cakes flavored with molasses baked in shallow tins. This was followed by a new version of the recipe calling for chocolate in the 1906 edition. Are you keeping these dates straight? Over time, the name for the molasses brownies morphed into blonde brownies, which is confusing. Then butterscotch brownies, which is delicious. And then finally, decades later, some say as late as the 1980s, simply Blondies. Which helps answer the age-old question of which came first, Blondie the band or Blondie the bars. It's technically Blondie the band, 1974. Okay, great, so we know some of our Blondie history, but a big question still remains, and that is, what exactly is a Blondie in 2021? When I travel this great nation of ours and talk to folks about Blondies, I often hear two commonly held beliefs about them. The first, Blondies are simply brownies without the chocolate. And the second, Blondies are just chocolate chip cookies baked in bar form. Are either of these theories true? Cooks Illustrated senior editor Annie Petito decided to make a batch of each and put it to the test. First up, theory one, a Blondie is just a brownie without chocolate. Here I've got one batch of brownies sans chocolate. Let's cut a square and check it out. Okay, so first off, right off the bat, I'm seeing some serious greasiness. Why would that be? Though we don't talk about it that much, cocoa powder is actually pretty high in starch. Cocoa powder's dirty little secret. Without that additional starch in the mix, there's not enough to bind up all of the butter in the recipe. Okay, let's take a taste. Oh boy. That's sweet. Without the bitterness and additional fat that we get from the chocolate, the sugar in the recipe is just overpowering. This is definitely not how you Blondie. Okay, theory two. A Blondie is a chocolate chip cookie just baked in a big pan. Again, let's cut a square and check it out. Actually, this looks pretty good to me. Let's take a bite. Okay, so it's dry, it's tough, and it lacks a lot of good browned flavor. These are not things I usually say about chocolate chip cookies. Here's the thing. When we make chocolate chip cookies, we use a moderately hot oven and we scoop maybe 2 to 3 tablespoons of dough per cookie, right? And then we pull them from the oven before they're fully baked. All that surface area in the hot oven means we get tons of great overall browning and a big kick in the flavor department. And that under baking keeps the cookies moist and tender. Baked as a bar cookie, we lose so much and we'll never get it back. This is also not how you Blondie. So how do you Blondie? Let's go to the kitchen and find out. First, we brown some butter, 12 tablespoons to be exact. Swirling and stirring in a shiny skillet like this makes it really easy to judge when the butter is browned and not burnt. Brown butter, one of the poster children of the Maillard reaction, will add loads of complexity and depth and nuttiness that is often sorely lacking in many Blondie recipes. To that we'll add brown sugar, which gets its color and flavor from molasses in order to add lots of butterscotch flavor. But we aren't using all sugar in this recipe. Most Blondie recipes are a little bit too sweet, so we're actually gonna swap in a portion of corn syrup. Corn syrup adds lots of moisture, like sugar, but it's only about 1/3 as sweet. We've also got eggs and vanilla hanging out with our wet ingredients. We'll stir that into our simple dry ingredients of flour, salt, and baking powder. Then we'll add some pecans and milk chocolate chips. When Annie created this recipe, she found that dark chocolate chips competed and overpowered that brown buttery goodness. So she got rid of them, which is great by me. After all, milk chocolate is the best chocolate. I'll take your responses to that statement in the comment section below the video. Then we just sprinkle on big flake sea salt, which will add pops of salty goodness throughout. Then we bake and just look at this gorgeous golden landscape of Blondie goodness. Now, because we're doing science here, I also have a pan of Cooks Illustrated Deputy Food Editor Andrew Geary's chewy brownies. Some quick stats on these beauties. They contain both cocoa powder and bar chocolate for complex chocolate flavor. They have a dialed in ratio of saturated to unsaturated fat, which contributes to a chewy texture. They've got extra egg yolks for richness, and espresso powder and vanilla to amp up chocolate flavor. Let's start with the brownies. It's got great chew, rich chocolate flavor. There's a little hint of fudginess. Yeah, I feel like this is like the chew of the box ones that I grew up on, but with actual rich chocolate flavor. Okay, now time for a bite of the Blondie. Oof, that brown sugar and that brown butter combine for perfect butterscotch flavor. The sweetness is in check, and those little pops of salt from the flake sea salt give me that sweet, salty balance that I love. I think I need another bite. That is so good. You know, it's like the best chocolate chip cookie met the best butterscotch candy. And they like rented a little rowboat and like rode around a lake filled with butterscotch pudding. It was like the first good spring day where it feels like nice even in the shade. You know what I mean? It gives you a chance to just like forget everything that you went through that past winter. You know, and you forget the fact that, yeah, a lot of people forgot your birthday this year and you only own like 4 shirts in slightly different shades of blue and you never really learned how to make your own bed and just let all that go and you feel, I don't know, you just feel good, you know? Sorry, what were we talking about? Oh, right. This is how to eat Blondies and brownies. So what I do is, as soon as I get out of the shower and I kind of, towel off and dry it, I'll get a little bit of little hair product and make this part here. Now, if it's totally out of control, I'll reach for a comb, like this, like a comb, and kind of do it that way. So yeah, that's how I do it. Now, if you didn't come here for the hair tutorial, I bet you came here for the Blondies, maybe the brownies. And the good news is I have links to both of them right below the video. Now, while you're hanging out down there in the video nether regions, do be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I will see you next time.